Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to 60 seconds. Now, I left the game last time on the pause menu, then I alt-tabbed out, and then alt-tabbed back in, and then it unpaused, and then I hit the pause button on an Xbox One controller, and it brought me back to the menu. So, that tells me we can get back to the menu, apparently, and there is a continue button here, so we're good with that. Other thing we need to adjust is I'm not willing to let's see, move forward is mouse button left, move forward is, let's see, I want to play, I think, with this, but I don't see a reason why I would need to pause the menu with this. Can I not change this as an option? It seems crazy, like a crazy layout. Let's see. Seems like we can't change this, but I'm gonna try with just the mouse and see how this works. And I don't want keyboard though, so I'm gonna move the mouse controls and click apply. So when we got back to this menu, we have this UFO here. I think that probably is nothing. I think there's probably a decent amount of silly single images that were drawn, but they really are not representative of what the game actually is. And in a weird way, those first 60 seconds feel like they were a half-finished concept of a completely different game that just got crammed into a much more easier to make game in the second half of the game, which the second half of the game is taking considerably longer. So we're still in the tutorial. Our stats are we've survived one nuke. We didn't die in the tutorial before we made it to the shelter. We've collected 16 items, 16 of which are supplies. Apparently none of these other so apocalypses survived, 0 perished post-apocalypses. We've succeeded 2 successful expeditions out of 2. There's a whole list of things here. Average survival time is 0 days so far. And I assume we probably haven't unlocked too many achievements. Break or use something in your fallout shelter. Alright. And I think there's like 56 of these achievements, but that does not really feel like 56 achievements. So maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's get back to the game. Speaking of numbers, the price right now for 60 seconds on Steam is $10. I do think it was 15 or 20 originally, and just recently went down to 10 when they came out with their sequel 60 parsecs, which I think I probably even now would want to wait for more years from this point today before I'd want to play 60 parsecs, because there's not a lot of variety going on here. And it's kind of a slow experience. I'd like to see somebody try and speedrun this and just like go through all the text and ignore it. Once you know what the text says and you can just skip things, that would be helpful. And if things were underlined, or if there was a mode to underline things, or change the dialogue into simplistic text. If I were you, I'd check the door. Our extraction team might be coming for you any day now, but be careful, this is a post-apocalyptic scenario and you never know what's coming. Water is what Mary Jane needs most. Timmy is on his best behavior. How long will it last? Dolores, it will not last long without water. So it really feels like, scenario wise here, you'd probably just want to give everybody water at the same time. If one person thinks they can refuse it, forget it. Like, you should just act fair. Like, for as much as possible. So I can just click on that, and that does that. And nobody's talking about food, so we can leave food off the table for a while. Seems like we're gonna need... You probably would want to have 6 things of water before anything else. You could probably go with 6 bottles of water and 2 cans of soup and be in a better situation. Alright, someone's at the door. You hear several knocks. If you listen closely, you can make out sequences of 3 knocks. Do you open the door? Well, earlier in the tutorial it said only open the door if it's 2 knocks. On the other hand, you've got a gun. Open that door every time and potentially shoot the person knocking on the door and take all their resources if they turn out to be a bad person. Talk through the door maybe before you open the door. I'm gonna click no because clearly that's what they want me to do in the tutorial. But we can't go on an expedition again. It seems like either they've taken away that opportunity from us, or there's something I'm missing here. It seems like the game specifically is telling me when I can do expeditions and when I can't, which doesn't feel right. It feels like I should be able to do it nearly every day. Like I feel like I should have more control. I should be able to send everybody out on an expedition, on different expeditions, at least 1 person a day, and have a constant cycle going on. There's a game called Rebuild, like Rebuild 2 and Rebuild 3. I'm not sure if you can find Rebuild 1 because it was like a flash game where you're sending out people on expeditions to survive a zombie apocalypse, and somewhat similar in concept to this, but it plays completely different and it's a lot faster in its gameplay. Good call. That wasn't the knock you were waiting for. Caution at all times. Remember that. Be cautious. Apply yourself and maybe you and your family will be just fine. Or at least most of you. Mary Jane is feeling safe. So, yeah, this is just the same phrase before. Who wouldn't in this coffin-sized shelter? So the part that's important that should be underlined here is Mary Jane is feeling safe. Timmy is on his best behavior. Dolores is quite calm given the situation. So it's like the first 4 or 5 words all you really need to read. Ted is not complaining, at least not very much. Alright. Again, nobody seems like they're hungry, so like, but if you waited until people were actually hungry, they're gonna eat more food than if you just balanced your rations reasonably. As you were counting imaginary sheep in your head, another series of knocks broke your communication. Someone is really hammering on your door and probably not taking no for an answer. 2 knocks, 2 knocks. The pattern is repeated. Do you open the door? Yes. On that one. The end. We made it. So let's see what we survived. Now, this is also clearly propaganda doing this drill, is that if you follow the rules and follow instructions, you are going to succeed. Whereas in reality, if a nuclear situation, nuclear war broke out, you probably aren't going to survive in a shelter. And even when we start playing the game for real, I imagine we're not going to survive. Geez, if I knew it was only going to take 10 more minutes to finish this tutorial, I wouldn't have broken up the recordings. Good job, you're safe and sound with our brave soldiers, and now we can have some apple pie. You deserve it. You can now go back to your lovely house and continue your idyllic lives. If any atomic trouble comes your way, you know what to do and how to save yourself. I do hope it never comes to this, but if it does, good luck. See you when all this blows over. We survived for 11 days. Now here's the question. Will it always be 2 knocks, or will we somehow get on the radio that to open the door when it's 3 knocks, 4 knocks, 5 knocks, 1 knock? Day 5, we didn't find Jesus. So on day 5, that's when we went to the church and got resources. Day 8, they went to the bus station and got the water, and day 11 successfully passed the drill. So why were we allowed to go on an expedition on day 5 and day 8, but not on day 9 or 10 or any day before then? The end. So Astro Citizen, I don't believe actually is the name of the developers of this game. Maybe they are, maybe I don't. The names are kind of in a circle there. Let me just click on the credits for a second, and we're not going to watch all of this. 60 seconds. And I can't scroll to... So we see that there's not a lot of people that worked on this game. But definitely simplistic too. A game that I really don't think should be $10 by default right now, even 4 years later. A game I didn't really think should have been $15 to $20 that it was before. And they're still trying to get $20 out of you because they bundle 60 parsecs together for $20. See, these credits don't seem like they want to point out the name of the company. The thing here is there's Atomic Adventure was added to the name in the iOS and the Google Play version of the game, which honestly this probably would be played better on those versions than on otherwise. Robot Gentleman, yeah. So I have no idea what that other loading screen is talking about. Maybe it's a comic book or something. Right. So now that we played once, what do the challenges make any sense? Let's see. To do new scavenge survival A to Z. Seems like new is the default. So if I were to click on this, collect items and family members below and make your way to the shelter before time runs out. So reward Babushka for having all 4 of the family members. So that's asking quite a lot compared to the tutorial. Collect all of the family, which I'm not sure if there really is a reason why you would want to. I mean, how much does it really ruin the game if you left the kids and the wife? Like, if it was just you, if you just went with a full selfish scenario where you're grabbing more food and grabbing none of your family members. I think we're not ready for that yet. Okay. So, Atomic Drill is a tutorial. So we don't want to do that. So we probably want to do Apocalypse. The full Atomic experience. Scavenge around your house for supplies and survive the post-apocalypse in a fallout shelter. We could be Fat Man is normal, Little Boy is easy, Bomba is hard. And you can start as the husband or wife. I wonder if we started as the wife, if it would move the location of where people sit. I bet it doesn't. Okay. So normal gameplay gives us 10 seconds of exploration time and 60 seconds of scavenge time. There's some junk in the shelter. The packed suitcases have work briefcases in them. Trouble is often unwanted visitors. Some fragile equipment is average. Health issues common. Let's see, if we were to play it on hard, you get no exploration time. 60 seconds at scavenge time. It's always going to be 60 seconds. Has to stay true to its name, I would assume. Stocked shelter empty. Packed suitcases. Nothing. Health issues. Call 911. All the equipment is like glass. There are hordes of unwanted visitors and there's trouble every day. By the way, on the tutorial, we didn't eat the hamster and it didn't do anything. It never resolved that that scenario. So I imagine that is going to be the case a lot of times, is that we will run into scenarios that just don't play out or give us anything. So if we, in a lot of games like this, if that is the case, that not eating the hamster is just saying, well, I'm choosing not to go any further down this chance risk, because it might be that there is a more than 50% chance, like say there's a 70% chance if you eat the hamster somebody's going to get sick, then it might be better to not take the chance and just not eat the hamster. Whereas maybe that's not the case, and maybe eating the hamster is just a 50% chance somebody gets sick or people get fed, or even higher than 50% chance that people get fed and there are no negative outcomes ever. So the packed suitcases will be holiday luggage. Let's see. So if we play this on easy, I think this will be the beginning of our next run. And I think we're going to go for a longer haul. Sorry, drinking water again. This time. Alright. So we definitely need the gas mask. We didn't use the gun. So, axe. You can't mouse wheel anywhere. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the middle mouse button to pick things up or what. Where's the controller here? Alright. This is weird. This is a weird... This is a weird control. This is very weird. Oh man, I need a mouse and keyboard set up here. And we never got bored or anything like that. Alright. So I got one kid and myself, and that was it. Like that setup, I don't like that part at all. I do not like. We did get the gas mask, and we got lots of water, and we got lots of food. And I have wonder. And we got a Boy Scouts manual, which is great. And we got a harmonica and cards and the chessboard. I don't even know. A lot of this stuff feels like it was already here. Timmy is safe, and that's what matters. We barely got here in time ourselves. We have no idea what happened to Mary Jane and Ted. Maybe they're okay. We vaguely remember stashing some things in the shelter because there was no room for them upstairs. Turns out being messy can work in your favor. So we got +1 harmonica, +1 radio, and +1 gas mask, which feels like that makes this game a lot more that makes it a lot easier to happen here. So pretty quickly we're gonna send Timmy out, and then we'll have to send the mother out on an expedition, and when the mother is gone, we're kind of doomed at that point. Let's see. Our shelves are full of cans. We'll eat from cans, we'll sleep on cans, we'll even talk to cans. Some of us already do. Yeah, I imagine, yeah, you would potentially just want cans of soup with like a piece of plywood on top of it and then a mattress on top of that, and that would be your bed. Just cans of soup everywhere, cans of other cans of food. You know, just eating soup is not going to keep you alive, though. Nutritional variation is necessary. Plenty of water means we don't have to worry about that for some time. Let's see. So we don't even have to feed or drink at all, so it's just ration. We really missed the life we had. The space, the sky, the food, more food. We wish we could go back to a time before this damn bomb dropped. That's new. We're getting a radiation sound, but I don't know if that means anything. Who knows, maybe the new world will offer new opportunities and won't be so bad. Despite the dire circumstances and all the trouble we're going through, Timmy is being very brave. Dolores is doing quite well, or she just can't find anything to complain about today. Again, so we're gonna have to we're gonna have to go through scenarios a lot quicker now. Enough of this plain tasteless water. Dolores is really craving a cup of coffee. Real true blue American coffee. The kind of that you can drink 5 cups and still feel sleepy. But where are you gonna find that in this wasteland? Well, Dolores' favorite diner is used to be a few blocks away. Maybe someone should go on a coffee run, but who? So we're gonna send him out, but I don't know if it's specifically for the coffee that we're sending him out for. And here we have a knocking on the door. A sound effect. Now that's gonna get annoying because that sounds like somebody might be knocking on my actual door in real life outside. Oh, volunteer came back empty-handed. Apparently the diner is just it's just a sad hole in the ground with some seats lying around. What a letdown. You almost have to assume this is a scenario and see. Apparently Dolores draws in her book a lot more. She's crazy. Yeah. You'd have to assume that there's just a lot of bombing of traditional bombs going on and not just nuclear warheads, because if even a 1 megaton or fewer nuclear warhead at the diner in the same city would have done such a ridiculous amount of damage. There's no way they would have survived. Timmy is good, well, at least he was 5 minutes ago. Dolores will not lost long without water. But we now have so few people that we have to deal with now. It's so easy. Let's see. Our neighbors still highly radioactive. Trips to the surface are a big risk for our health right now. We can send Dolores out for expedition. Timmy seems quite enthusiastic to take a trip. We should start preparing the expedition for tomorrow. Okay, so apparently the coffee run was not an expedition but a special event. And so do I do I click this to make the page different? Interesting. What happens if I don't click this? I guess this means yes. And that's the pause button. Interesting. And that doesn't do anything. We could probably use some help. An indicator of what this is when I hover the mouse over it. But I guess that means we're preparing. We were discussing plans for a first meal that didn't feature tomato soup when we heard yells outside. We discovered they came from a small group of ragged survivors. They were sorry sight and weren't surprised when they requested aid. They asked us to provide us anything we can. Food, water, and medical supplies. Let's look here. We're good on food. Let's give them food. And see if that brings us any good karma. Yeah, this is going a lot faster. Our visitors had problems finding enough words to express their gratitude. Many tears were shed and smiles and hugs exchanged. They wished us all the best. It's a great feeling to be helping someone out. They left soon after, seeking shelter in the ruins of our town. We hope they make it out there. -1. Timmy is doing well. Well, at least he was 5 minutes ago. Today was relatively calm for Dolores. So, yeah, if nobody's hungry, if nobody's thirsty, we just go forward. Some of us are keener to go outside than others. Either way, it's time to choose the most able and responsible person for the quest to gather more supplies. Well, when you say able and responsible, that's the mother. So skip days or send Timmy out. We're so early into playing this game, I think skipping days is a mistake. But in the long run, it might be a smart move to send Dolores out. And all we can really give him is the gas mask. Interesting. Unless he finds a suitcase or they level up so they can carry more later on, we're going to consistently be hamstrung with having to find a suitcase. And that's going to be a run killer. It might explain why I haven't seen anybody really speedrun this game, is because there may be just so many run killers that happen that's not very well balanced. Let's see. Timmy went out to the wasteland. We don't know what we'll do if he doesn't come back. Now, I'm hoping what he does is bring back the other 2 family members. It just kind of is. What was that? A rat. Rats are usually smaller than cats. And what's with the double tail? We can't let that thing get to our supplies. I imagine a gun is a better tool here than an axe. So we'll use the gun. She broke the gun. And this is easy. This is easy. It looks like you're probably going to need a repair tool kit at some point. And I didn't see anything in the house like that. So I wonder if there are items that you just have to scavenge later on. Or do you have to potentially scavenge replacements? Like, our cans are saved. Too bad for the hairy mutant. Guess we're still on top of the food chain. Good for us. Darn, her gun blew up when I tried to shoot the thing. Water is all Dolores wants. And interestingly, that didn't give us any meat from the rat. Good news, everyone. The government just announced they'll be dropping crates filled with supplies in our area. Finally, they are useful for something. We should head out to get to those crates as soon as possible. Grab some protective gear might not be a bad idea. Well, Timmy took the protective gear, so that's gonna be a gold rush. though. Let's see, it was too dangerous to go out there without any protection, so we decided to stay indoors and listen to the radio. The static is so relaxing. Dolores would really love to eat something. I'll give her a quarter of food. That's fine. There's nothing surprising. There's nothing more surprising than a knock on a fallout shelter door. What could it be? Should be investigated and risk our very lives. It sounds like a good idea. Should we open the door? Alright, let's open the door. You can't click forward until you do. Seems like somebody stole all of our food. You kind of get the outcome before you see the response. It feels like you should be seeing the journal first, and then it shows the scene on outcomes. We opened the hatch, but there was nobody there. Darn pranksters making jokes around it. Is there anything to report about? Dolores, this is where it would have been written. And this is numbered 18 and we're on day 8. Alright. Wish we could just leave. Sitting down here with barely anything to do is driving me crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Dolores is more susceptible to try to help those in need. What goes around comes around. This gives us a like Boy Scout, maybe a karma bonus. I don't know. I wonder if Tim is not coming back. Hey, there's also a point on the map where we can put an X. Interesting. There's several points on the map where we can put an X. Does that mean that there are actually several points on the map that we could have expeditions go to? Or is that just a joke toy where you can click anywhere? Do we have to take care of ourselves, or will someone come to the rescue? Water is all Dolores wants. I may have just killed the kid. He may never come back. Hear that? Noise is coming from below. This is probably the right time to check it out. The manhole in the corner. The one that's been locked tight ever since we got to the shelter. So we don't have a flashlight, but we can take the axe. Let's see if she breaks the axe too. And that's like a monster sound. What the hell? We barely made it out alive. It was a giant mutated crocodile, or an alligator, or something else with a giant mouth and plenty of teeth. Is anyone hurt? Dolores was hurt. Was she? Oh, yes she was. Okay. So will she heal on her own? If I don't feed her or anything? We didn't think we'd get a chance to increase our food supply by simply playing a card game, but that's what we were offered by a man who knocked on the door today. 2 cans of food. We win, we get 2 cans. We lose, we give him our 2 cans. Are we going to do it? Anybody willing to make that offer is almost certainly going to cheat, but let's do it. Like, we got nothing better to do. This is a bad run immediately. Hey, why is there a whole box of soup over here and not on the shelf? That's interesting. Hey, you got a suitcase though. That's more helpful than anything else. Haha, Lady Luck has smiled. We won a vicious game of war. The man wasn't too happy about it, but he delivered his promise. We were so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland is safe with us now. Despite his rather calm demeanor, Timmy got into a few fights before the apocalypse. His last victory was beating a kid named Ethan with a stick. Ethan's parents were furious and invited us over to discuss Timmy's behavior, but before we could schedule a meeting, the world went to hell. During the trip, we found their house and knocked on the door, but nobody answered. We decided to go in and investigate. Behind the remains of their kitchen counter, we found some bottled water. It's not our favorite brand, but it will have to do. We found their garage empty. They might have gone on a vacation before the apocalypse. Maybe they even survived. They left behind a few suitcases, though we didn't think they would mind us borrowing one. Timmy should eat something. Timmy is really tired. Dolores is still hurt and might take a while before she gets better. So, we're good on food here. Nobody seems to be thirsty, so we'll save on water. We thought our phone calls were a thing of the past after the atomic bomb obliterated everything in our little town. However, a phone booth on our street survived the bombing somehow, and it seems to be ringing right now. Should we send someone to answer it? I guess we'll send Dolores. But this might be a mistake. If she dies right now, that's the end of this run. Alright. Cans 5.25. I don't understand the shelf then. Like, why would the shelf not be full at... Yeah, why is the shelf empty and then staying empty? Seems like things are just changing for kind of no reason. When he answers his phone, we could clearly hear a gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as survivors from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We started exchanging information. The call was cut short. Something must have gone wrong on their side. We hope they get back to us. They were glad to see Dolores come back safely from the wasteland. Tim is very hungry. We're no doctors, but we should help Dolores. The wounds are getting pretty bad. Alright, well, food and water. But I mean, we can't really do anything without that first aid kit, so you're totally messed up here. You just can't do it. Our neighborhood is still highly reactive. Trips to the surface would be a big risk for our health right now. Dolores is confident she will survive. Should we start preparing for an expedition tomorrow? We might as well do it. I mean, if I was trying a little bit harder to have a full experience with this run, I would say no, but let's just do it. We're going to send her out injured. Surviving down here is no walk in the park. It won't get easier. We're hopeful this will blow over soon. Life will be back to what it used to be, or else we might fight dangers here we never dreamt of. By the way, we're at day 11 now. We got to day 11 a lot faster, about half the amount of time it took in the tutorial. But I was getting the feeling this would be a 30-90 day runs, not experiences of just a couple of weeks. It's easy to feel a bit down when living underground like this. No sunshine, no sky. We need to get rid of that pessimism and try to bring some cheerfulness to his life. Timmy is very hungry. Is there anything we can do about Dolores' injuries? I mean, we can keep feeding people. We can keep giving them water. We can go forward. We can send her. We can send this with this with this and Boy Scout or map. I feel like the map is a smarter move. So again, We really haven't gotten any feedback on what the map is for. So maybe it's something that should stay in the shelter. And when you're gone with these things, you're gone with these things, and I don't think you can double up on them. Like, I don't think there can be 2 maps or 2 guns or two anything else. Now that the adult is gone, I don't think we control anything. Timmy should eat something. Dolores is on her way to the surface. Let's hope she'll make it back safe and sound. Interesting. I don't understand why I can control this. Like, this feels like he would just eat and do whatever he wants. As long as we have food and water, we can stay locked in, but we have to leave eventually. It would be good to head straight to safety instead of getting ourselves into more trouble, if that's even possible in this situation. Our hope is that our brave soldiers will come rescue us and take us to some well-hidden, well-stockpiled government shelter. Timmy had comics about those. You know, they must exist. Yeah. Not really. They never existed. Not for an ordinary citizen. Not enough where all of the population would be allowed in. All we need to do is make contact with the military, which I guess means listening to the radio, which is not a bad idea. Seems like we're not running into a battery problem, which is good. This won't be like the game Alan Wake, where it was sponsored, paid product placement for Energizer batteries, and then you needed to replace the batteries every couple of minutes. It was ridiculously short life, which put Energizer batteries in a bad light. Yeah. This is so simplistic. We knew it, the government is not following, they're coming to save us. They didn't give us exact dates on their radio transmission, but we're sure they won't keep us waiting long. They said they will be in touch in a couple of days and told us to wait for further instructions. Timmy seems okay, as much as he can in the current situation. It doesn't seem like he really needs food, so let's just leave that until he says he's hungry. How about that lake we've been going to for our past few years? It would be so good to find ourselves there, far away from this madness. Swim a little, maybe take a boat ride, even if the whole place turned into Adamville. Well, you know, a lake might have more life in it under the surface than nuclear fallout would affect in like a forest. So there's something to that idea. Maybe you could do some fishing. But in this fantasy version of that, I imagine if you went swimming in the lake, you'd get attacked by some kind of mutant shark. Had to drink more water myself. Man, there's a lot of talking going on for this. And see, at a certain point in this series, I think I will probably get very quiet and not want to read too much of what's being here, and try take a more laid-back approach for this game, as we try to barrel through these runs. See, we can take care of ourselves. Timmy has been talking about nothing other than water. You should drink some. Alright, drink some water. And why not eat some food, or should you wait until the game rolls its dice and says he's hungry? We've discovered everything we could with and no one is willing to chat anymore. The silence is really disturbing. We should do something before we start talking to ourselves instead. So this radio, the way it's drawn, just feels like it's a radio receiver. It should have been animated differently with a handset microphone on it, at the very least, because it does seem like it's not just a one-way directional form of receiving information. It feels like you're also doing shortwave radio transmissions, like ham radios. But that does not look like a ham radio at all. And you can see he's drawing on the walls. How fortunate we took the radio with us. We can probably listen to some music. They still play music out there, don't they? Timmy seems okay. Alright. Skip the rations. A sleazy looking trader carrying an equally scruffy bag on his shoulder paid us a visit. He offered us a simple one-time deal. For just one can of soup we can get the bag and all of its contents. We can't see what's inside, and the trader gives us angry glances every time we take a step towards the mysterious bag. Should we make the deal? No, but let's do it anyways. We don't buy loot boxes. Wow, we ended up with a cat. I was not expecting that. Let's see. As soon as the door closed behind us, the bag started violently shaking. Many screeching, hellish sounds. Terrified, we backed against the walls. When the beast finally escaped, it turned out to be an angry house cat. The feline gave us a menacing look and promptly sat down in a corner to clean itself. The caller says, Sharakov? Is that its name? That's like a very Russian-ish name for a cat. Despite the dire circumstances and all the trouble we're going through, Timmy is being very brave. So you don't... Like, the cat's not going to be a problem as far as food. And in fact, he might even be helpful with the rats that we already dealt with. Let's see. We never thought we'd live to see a dancing cockroach, but we still haven't, but we saw one that was nearly as big as the cat, Good news, we're probably scared off any rats in the area. The bad news is they're huge and will probably attack us when they get a chance. So we don't have bug spray, but we can use the Boy Scout book, I guess, to smash them. Wonder if Dolores is coming back. These expeditions are long. I wouldn't think they would take this long. I'm not sure I like the game flow of this game. That was close. The nest of those glowing bugs might have been more than enough to drive us out into the wasteland. Roaches are the worst, but radioactive roaches, yikes. Now, Bethesda did make a mobile game called Fallout Shelter. I played it a little bit. It's very similar to this. I think Fallout Shelter came out after this. But in all honesty, the games are similar in concept, but very different in gameplay. And I'm not sure I wouldn't perhaps want to play Fallout Shelter a little bit more than this game. This game is slow, with a lot of reading, and that's not really what I was expecting. Now, on the other hand, Fallout Shelter is full of microtransaction and is probably too fast and a little too difficult to actually make a balanced society. And when I first played it when it came out, it was missing a lot of features that it has nowadays, so it might have gotten a little bit better, but people aren't really amazed by it. How about getting Timmy something to drink? He's not looking well. Alright, well, that is not a problem. It's time we stopped wondering about what's going on and started asking questions, or at least listen to some reasonable answers. How about turning on the radio station and learning a thing or two? Like, I don't see a reason why you would never want to listen to this, even if you had suspicions that there might be lies or propaganda being aired on the suitcase, on the radio. It's still probably not a bad idea. The map is now tattered, and I can no longer click and put an X on it. Interesting. So maybe we shouldn't take the map. She looks like she's in bad shape, but she did bring back food, and the axe seems to be in good position. I'm also kind of wondering if maybe we're close to everything that is available in this game. First aid kit, we've seen that. Suitcase. Seems like we lost our suitcase. We were able to get a weak signal and tap into the government's emergency announcement service. And guess what? Great news. The fallout outside is mostly gone. It should be much safer to travel on the surface now. We were glad to see Dolores come back safely from the wasteland. So maybe what you do is you just stock up and you don't go on any expeditions at all until the radio tells you it's safe on day 20. That would be realistic in the real world to do. One of our neighbors had a boat of his own. The old timer wasn't happy to let anyone use it and just kept it in his yard. It's still there, but the neighbor isn't. We finally got a chance to look inside. We found a few soup cans that the yacht's cargo hold. Seems rich people like soup too. Soup is great. We love soup. +1 soup. Our map really took a beating during the expedition. It is nearly unusable now. Darn it. We really like that suitcase. Well, it's gone now. Timmy might not look it, but he's a strong young boy. He's doing fine. Dolores would really love to eat something. Dolores is really tired. So, feed him. Sure. And water. Let's just feed and water everybody. Although, in all reality, it'd probably be better to do just that. As long as someone's tired, that means they probably need food and water consistently. And it didn't really seem like sending Timmy is out of the question. Why can we not send Timmy out? Sending Dolores out is a death sentence. I don't understand what is the status on Timmy. He's tired. And Dolores is hungry, hurt, and tired. What is needed to not make people tired? Because it's been a long time since he went on an expedition. So is tiredness a state meaning you just cannot go in the next expedition at all? And that's why you need 4 people so that you can always cycle through somebody. Dolores is not looking any better today. We should fix her up soon. Did we take the first aid kit? No, we didn't. Yeah, and she's gonna die. She's gangrenous. Hey, we got some bug spray. Somehow. Jeez, you probably could just play this game by not reading anything and just looking around the world. Poor Dolores were not optimistic. While playing in the shelter, Sarkov stumbled upon a small wooden box that was hidden behind some loose bricks. It contained some useless memorabilia and a can of old bug spray. Like a good Boy Scout he is, Timmy is making the best out of the situation. He even seems cheerful. Dolores really loves to eat something. Dolores came down with sickness. He's still tired. She's hungry, sick, hurt, and tired. So we've got everything there. And I mean, we're trying our best, but we don't have that. Tonight we found a letter from what seems to be other survivors. They claim to mean us no harm and went to get us no better. They're asking to choose one person to represent us and come to the meeting tonight unarmed. We're a bit worried, but they could be friendly should we show up. Sure, send Dolores, she's about to die anyways. And so the cat moved to different places, which makes me wonder if maybe the cat won't do anything. There won't be anything on top of this shelf other than the cat. What happened here? The meeting was organized by twin siblings, a brother and a sister, who took it upon themselves to scout the remains of the city looking for trustworthy, decent people. They seemed honest about their intentions and were more than happy to meet again. They said they know where to find us and they're going to contact us if they need some help. We're glad to see Dolores coming back safely from the wasteland. Timmy has rested. Wow, that took a long time. Dolores just really loved to eat something. So. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Although, let's see. Timmy is now back to normal. Dolores is hungry, sick, hurt, and tired. So we can send Timmy out. And all we can keep doing is just giving Dolores food and water and hope that's what we can do. Timmy is good to go. Full of optimism, so we can go on a new expedition. Sarkov can take care of itself, but we can't help but wonder how much of a self-made cat it is. Just so happens that we found an address on its collar. It's unlikely that its owner is still alive, and a trip to the wasteland is always risky. Should we go outside and check the address? Sure. Why not? And maybe you couldn't check the address if you don't have the map. Looks like we gave the cat back. We grabbed our new fluffy friend for a little stroll through the waste, only to immediately run into a couple of gentlemen dressed in trench coats, fedoras, and shades. They gritted their teeth at the sight of the cat and said they've been looking for it. Apparently it belongs to their dear old man who loves it dearly. Before we could utter a word, they took Sharikov, thanked us, and left. The cat didn't seem to mind, so maybe it's for the best. No news is good news. There's nothing new going on with Timmy. Dolores has really loved to eat something. So they took the cat, and that's kind of a negative response to us. A negative reaction, but it kind of doesn't seem like it mattered either. Let's see, enough sitting around, it's time to visit the surface. So we send him, and I don't know how safe it is out there. So we'll send him with the gas mask and go. Guess defense before offense. Now we're getting Morse code. Timmy went on the wastelands. We don't know what we'll do if he doesn't come back. Is there anything we can do about Dolores' injuries? No. And we can just feed her every day. Today an army broadcast interrupted, let's call it breakfast. Anyway, they seemed very eager to evacuate us away from here, but they went over several things that needed to happen before they do it. The first item on the list is up to us. We're given geographical coordinates and need to get there to leave a sign. We're still alive. This should be easy with a map. And we don't have a map. Interesting. So this map, man, I keep doing that. This map does not count. It's just an indicator, I guess, of what we had at a time. I don't know what that broken water bottle there means either. It doesn't seem like it means anything. Other than maybe it's an indicator we've eaten a lot of food and we've drunken a lot of water. So maybe each drawing and thing is an indicator of something that happened. So don't take the map out on expeditions going forward. cat came back. Interesting. We were sure we could find the location without a map. We were wrong. Hopefully we'll get lucky next time. To our surprise, we found Shirokov back in our shelter this morning. We're not sure why or how it came back. Is it our good care it appreciates, our kind hearts, our optimism, or just our stockpile of soup cans? Only time will tell. Dolores has no colors left in her face. Her injuries need to be fixed ASAP. And she's in agony now. Sick and tired. I cannot do anything about it. Just keep on using all the resources. We wish we could just leave. Sitting down here with barely anything to do is leaving us crazy. And I'd like to rush through the end of this run, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that because we're at the hour mark. Maybe we'll go 10 more minutes and that's about it. Still, it's better to be safe down here than dead up there. Let's just keep on eating the food. We never thought we'd live for dancing cockroach. Well, we can use the bug spray this time. We've already seen that. Yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe we're using a decent amount of all that there is in this game. Maybe there's only a few runs a year. We got health kit finally. We dodged a bullet this time. That's if the bullet was a huge, hairy, 8-legged and had glowing head. Hopefully we won't have to deal with them again. We were so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. Our expedition was able to get to a local hospital. It appears that the blast blew some of the upper floors beds and some of the patients still on them, and shreds of medical equipment were lying all over the place. However, after exploring the first floor, we could conclude that the majority of people inside evacuated the building in time. There was plenty of bottles of liquid in the wards. Peroxide or not, water is water, and the beggars cannot be choosers. Let's see, it wasn't hard to find fully equipped first aid kit. After all, it's a hospital. Our gas mask was damaged during the expedition. Timmy should eat something. Timmy is really tired. Dolores has no colors left in her face. Our injuries need to be fixed ASAP. So we feed, and heal. And maybe this does everything for Dolores, and this game is actually going to work. Yeah, we cannot prepare for another things. Curiosity almost killed the cat. Sarkov found a tiny wire sticking out from the ceiling and pulled it out. Plaster and debris falling on our heads, toppled with a big meowing furball. What is this thing anyway? Nobody remembers it being there before. The cat might get angry if we take away the wire, so maybe it's best just to leave it be. Or should we examine the wire? Let's examine it. Maybe leave it there later. Hey, and we've got knocking on the door, so I think we have to respond to that. So she's tired, and he's hungry and tired. But beyond that, I think we've made it. We followed the wire outside and found the half-buried, burned-out truck. Two surprised gentlemen inside surrounded by an array of blinking bulbs. That's some space tech right there. Were they listening in on us in our very own shelter? Their feeble excuses about a roadside picnic didn't convince us. Even Timmy knows you can't have picnics here, and the car has no wheels. Timmy is very hungry. Doris was cured from her illness. Interesting. Doris' wounds were patched up. So it almost seems like you can just work your way through being injured or sick for a very long time before you have to actually interact and use a first aid kit. So we can't prepare. Agents who are spying us now at the door and they want to explain themselves. Should we hear them out? Yes. Why not? Day 29. They briefly waved some sort of ID cards in front of our faces and told us their top secret government mission. The wiretap wasn't to spy on us, but rather on the cat. It's suspected of being a Soviet agent. They're willing to let us into their super top secret government safe house if we help them with their top secret mission. They assured us that they'd contact us again with more details. Timmy is very hungry. Timmy's pretty fatigued. Dolores is pretty fatigued. Like, how do you rest? Is it just you don't do things? Just choose not to go? How about that, the lake we've been going to for the... See. These lines of dialogue seem to be indicating something as a potential, this is where you might go and into this run of the game, as if you could get to the lake. But on the map, I don't even see a lake. And I can't click on the map anyways. Just keep on rushing through this. I'm gonna give it 4 more minutes. Then I'm gonna wrap up this recording. Hopefully the time we leave will come soon. Timmy seems okay as much as he can be. Timmy, it's been fine. Dolores. Today's been fine for Dolores thus far. Right. She's still tired and fatigued. He's still tired and fatigued. Which still means food and water. So who do we want to feed? Let's give it to the kid. And we're almost out of water. We could use some extra supplies. Last time we went on a supply run, we noticed a damaged tank stuck in the rubble nearby. How about we send somebody to investigate? Sure. Send her out. After being injured. The end. Alright. So that's the way to end the game. Interesting that you have this like corpse skeleton that's wearing an apron but no other clothing. Like, that's odd, certainly. So it is important to have 2 adults, because this seems like could be a scenario that will happen a lot if you don't collect the 2 adults. One adult may just randomly die on a 5-10% chance of failure, and you may have 2 children, but it doesn't matter. So in my original calculation of keeping the children alive the longest, it's actually the opposite. I should be sending out Mary Jane and Timmy as on every expedition I can, and if they die, who cares? Because it seems like the game treats that differently. The last thing we expected was a giant explosion. We could hear the debris falling from the sky and hitting the sad remains of our house. The tank must have been booby-trapped or contained volatile explosives. Why did we do it? Why? I don't even remember what... We sent her out to look for supplies. I bet going out and looking for supplies has a very high chance of failure. We didn't make it. This is our final words and our advice to anyone who reads this obscured writing. We held out for 31 days. So, day 2 was a coffee run. Day 3 was the widow's might. Day 5 was the Beast 5. Day 7 was just visiting. Day 9 was the neighbors downstairs. Day 10 was winners take all. Day 11 was late visit. Day 11 was hello. Day 11 was an unexpected call. A lot of things happened on day 11. Day 14 we made contact with the military. Day 16 was silent as the grave. Day 17 it's out of the bag. Day 18 is swarm. Day 19 is nuclear fallout has gone. So you have to wait like 19 days to get to that point. Or at least we did this time. Day 20 was boat trip. Day 20 was house call. Now, I don't see any reason why, if this cat was a Soviet agent, why it would be spying or living with me. Because we don't know anything about this family, that they were working with the military. And if they were working with the military, they probably wouldn't be left just in a standard shelter. Day 21 was Small Treasure. Day 21 was A New Hope. Day 22 is Following the Trail. Day 24 is Lost in the Neighborhood. Day 25, There and Back Again. Day 26 was Swarm again. Day 27 was ER Visited. Day 27 is Fun and Games. Day 28 is Big Brother. Day 30 is An Unexpected Tragedy. And Day 31 is Perished. So you perished. 31 days survived. Water consumed 6.75. Soups consumed 8. Times defended your shelter 0. Yes decisions 4. No decisions 0. Successful expeditions 6 of 7. Items brought from expeditions 8. So we're learning slowly. We're slowly learning here. Alright. Just take a quick look here. Not at the credits. We're not gonna look at the credits every time we play a game. So in that first non-tutorial run, we got 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. 40 days would have been the next one. And then apparently after 40 days, maybe there's like 80 days at most. Maybe 100. Collect 10 cans of soup from your home. Collect 10 water bottles. Break or use everything possible in your shelter. There might be a way to get that achievement pretty easily if you just grabbed everything or grabbed nothing and went to the fallout shelter with nothing. Let's see. Turn your fallout shelter into a madhouse. Scavenge each item at least once. Is this over multiple runs? Probably. Complete the government endorsed fallout drill. We've got some statistics here. We have a win ratio of 0% right now. Apparently the tutorial didn't count. This is the end. It's all over. Get rescued by the military. Show those mutant roaches who's in charge. Apparently we have to kill bugs multiple times. One-way ticket. Die in the fallout shelter. Find a new friend. Rescue the whole family. Ram 1,337 obstacles in your house. You couldn't do that in one run. Trims Ted beard in a trendy way. That's probably with the fire axe. Get to the shelter before the bomb hits. Mutant survival is overrated. Stay to see the fireworks. Listen to music from beyond. Meet the local law enforcement. Ram a toilet. Win a game in every mode on Little Boy difficulty. Little Boy difficulty would be the easy difficulty. Win every game in Fat Man difficulty. I don't think I'd want to do that, win the game in Bomba difficulty. So there seems like there are some achievements here that I'm just not going to try to get because they're ranked around, they're built around difficulty settings. So this is not a game that I'd spend the effort to try to get 100% achievement completion on Steam, and that's all Steam really cares about. We have an achievement here, always say yes and win, perform 30 successful trades, the dark side, show your evil self, rescue someone from the bandits, receive a gift, always say no and win. So very random, clearly. Whatever goes around, give and get back. Fully explore your shelter. Defeat 3 bandits. Attacks in 1 game. Defend yourself without a weapon. Don't forget to stock your shelter. Ally with other wastelanders. You know, there's this game where you remodel houses that's a lot more 3D than this is. I wonder if you could make a Fallout game using that looked a lot more like that. Because if you could, perhaps with a money limit instead of a time limit, pre-stock your shelter instead of just running around and collecting things that are randomly placed in the house or somewhat randomly placed in the house. I think that would put me in a better start position. Frankly, I'd kind of like to potentially even skip the intros of the game where you're doing the 60-second scavenging all together, and I'm not sure if that isn't an option, because there was something that said skip intro, so I wonder if maybe I click that it would do that and just give me a random collection of items. Let's see. Ally with other wastelanders. In apocalypse mode, grab only what a real gamer needs. Put a stylish hat on. Complete the holiday challenges. Complete 1 challenge. Learn to serve and obey new masters. Feline domination. Yeah. Reach for the stars. Yeah, there's a lot here. A lot of them having to do with cats taking over. A lot of them having to do with aliens. Live through the nuclear blast as Dolores. So yeah, a lot of potential achievements there that we might get done and we might not as we go through this. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use keyboard and mouse at this point and see how that works. Just WASD and space to grab and drop. Or WASD and mouse 0 to grab and drop, which still haven't really figured out how to. Oh, apparently you can change the settings, because I would like to play this with the mouse, but oh, you can't change the settings on mouse controls only. Interesting. So I think we'll just try keyboard and mouse though. As for the flashing, disable flashes. I haven't seen any flashes. And skip intro. I don't know what that would do. So let's see what that would do. And click apply there. And let's see if this changes anything. Nope. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and give me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.